Good morning, good morning. How are we doing today? Sorry about that, the bell did not go off today. Had me a bit perplexed here. How's everybody doing? Happy Monday, happy Monday. Seen some pretty good price action so far this morning, at least back to the downside anyways, creating some opportunity there. Nonetheless, still a big deal. Hope everyone's doing great, though. Let's go. Good morning, Jake, Outlaw, KO, you, Fraz, Alexander. KO, how we doing? What's up, Autumn? What's going on? What's going on? What's up, Chris? Adventure. Jose. Good morning, Adventure. Big Daddy Tom. I love it. Jason, let's get it. Tesla was a stock I was watching really closely this morning. It's setting up in a bit of a weird way. If we actually look here, you can see how Tesla really likes this lower support range. Right around 396 to 400. This morning, it bounced right off of there, back to the upside again. Oh, Rick's slacking. How dare you, Rick? How dare you?
How dare you?
What's up, Sharpie? Yeah, it looks like Tesla, though, is actually bouncing off of this. I was expecting a bit of a reversal and move back below there, honestly. But that was not the case here today. Not the case. Check on some banks. Nothing too crazy there. NVO. I think I saw some news with them this morning. Novo Nordisk cuts direct-to-consumer prices. I guess that doesn't sound too great. Wow, they cut the price down to $3.49 from $4.99. That's a pretty big cut. Why would they do that? What the? Maybe they'll get more sales that way, who knows? Either way, I gotta say it's, I don't know. Does anybody in here take these? Oh, I just meant because I'd rather them make more money, Autumn. For the stock. That's why. It was part of the pharmaceutical bill, right? I saw that they were pushing for these prices to get lower. I'm not sure if it was part of the bill or not. I'll have to read through it here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they struck... Okay, the Trump admin did pressure. I guess they weren't pressuring them, but they did strike a deal with them. Okay. To make them easier to access and afford. So, okay. I guess Trump wants people to take these. I was just thinking Trump might need to take some of that himself. If I... I'm not being negative at all, of course. I just think it's funny. They say they can make it back in other markets internationally. Ah. Yeah, and I wonder what kind of deals they're getting here. What's going on there? Tesla is bouncing off 400, though, in a pretty good way. Very good way. My daughter's in here today. Say hi. Can you say hi? Can you count to 10? She's getting good at counting. And she can do her whole ABCs and stuff. Nvidia bouncing pretty well, 185. Support holding up. There we go. Amazon's getting liquidity. Ooh. Little pullback here. I actually like this move down. This is not bad. This was a momentum play from yesterday. Amazon to the downside below 234. Definitely seeing that here today. My gosh. Pretty bad turnover. Let's look at the Mag 7 setup. Is it working? Oh my gosh. Thinkorswim. I'll tell you what, Thinkorswim's been having me some problems lately. It's starting to become Robinhood. I'm gonna go back to TradeStation soon. Mason says SPY, SPY. Whoa, good bounce off 669, 670, right up. 672.50 coming into play already. That's a pretty good move here. It opened for SPY. It ended up holding support really well. Wow, what a good jump. The heat map update yet? Let's see. I don't think so. QUBT. Quantum Computing Inc. down a little bit. Pretty good drop. This one didn't really have a good breakout. It was a momentum play as well above 12.15. It never got above 12.15 at open today, though. Looks pretty rough, though, I'd say, this morning. Even if it does break 12.15 at this point, I don't know. It's very weird action. CoreWeave was another one. They're down a little bit, too. Tesla, good jump. 408 coming into play here soon. Holy, Thinkorswim will not open. Oh, here we go, finally. Yeah, Tesla did pretty good. They are starting to turn back over here now, though. There's Nvidia. Little pop-up here, helping the SPY to rise. Pretty good action with SPY so far, though. Only like one red candle after the open there. The first candle was red after that. We've been nothing but green. Man, Tessie. New high of the day again. Really held that $400 range. Wow. Straight to the upside. Google, Microsoft, all three pretty much straight up. Google and Tesla look better, though, I'd say. Wow. Interesting. Interesting action here. Tim Cook is leaving next year. Is he really? I don't remember seeing that. Not Timmy. MU, lots of sellers in ES. MU's doing great. It's a good move by MU up to 260 plus. Yeah, his Apple presentations were always awesome. I actually thought Tim Cook's Apple presentations were always like amazing. I can't wait to see what the next one looks like. That would be cool. I'll tell you what I'm buying when it comes out is that folding Apple phone. That's what I'm getting. Come on, Timmy. I hope you're around to announce the folding phone. Apple's going to invent the folding phone. Invent it. Bank of America pullback like crazy there. Looks pretty good to the downside there, actually. JP Morgan's trying to hold support around 300 to 302, but not really getting it done. Jake said a huge gap up on Google today. GOOGL. I like it. Yeah, one of the big Mag 7 players this morning that's done pretty good. That's solid. Yeah, they did, Yvonne. I think that they were making a joke. Hey, appreciate it, Anton. Little 80s action. It's called Super Mario Bros. Nostalgia Retro Chill Focus Mix. What a name. Either way, it sounds cool. The name sounds like an Amazon listing. It is. Man, a lot of these stocks now are consolidating up here at the top, but they look like they're consolidating for a good continuation. I like the way Nvidia is looking today. Still pretty good price action. I know it's not as good as some others, but Amazon's like the only Mag 7 that really was down in the dumps, right? Yeah. The rest are starting to come back a bit, but Amazon's still stuck. Seems a bit brutal there. Totally cool if you guys feel like pumping QUBT. We'll see if we can get it going or not. QUBT trying to get going, though. Decent little green candles. QUBT's trying to come back. It's actually helping a little bit. Maybe the pump is going on for you. BBAI, big bad disappointment. Yeah, earnings last week. Was it last week? Yeah, on Monday. That's right. They did pretty good for a couple days, but you're right, pretty disappointing. Look at Big Bear closely. They've been following this uptrend on the chart here. If we look at this trend of higher lows, we can see it's actually been working out pretty well for the most part. Pretty consistent bounces off the trend. I am a bit worried that it'll end up giving out, though. And if that happens, we could see a bigger downside move. Canal said, how does GLD look? Pretty flat today. Looks like a bunch of nothing. It seems to be holding support pretty well, but a whole bunch of nothing here. Everybody's really interested in what's going to happen this week. And before we get into it, destroy that subscribe button. Let's go. Subscribe up. Also hit that like. Let's get those likes going today. And one final thing. Remember, kids, drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
All right. Tesla. Let's go check it. TSLA. Ahmad, before we look at the rest. There we go. Good jump. 413 moving higher. 415 coming into play. Wow, Tesla really above the high from Friday already, too. Pretty good action on the comeback here. Tesla has posted a bit of an inverse head and shoulders. You know, this was a big area of support. It was on watch today. We didn't really get the confirmation down, unfortunately. Below 396.50 or 396, but it ended up bouncing back up. Why is UNH up? It just shot up. It's not that big of a move. There could be some news there, but I would probably guess not. Get the news out here. UNH, anything? Nothing on the TOS newswire. How's Navitas? Decent little update today, not bad. Trying to bounce a little bit off support like everything else. Not near as good as Tessie. Tessie looks awesome. Yeah, probably no news there. All right. Getting the earnings up here really quickly. Don't know why they're not up. But here we go. Here are the earnings coming up this week. This is what we'll be looking at, guys. Pretty badass. Home Depot reporting Tuesday. Baidu reporting as well. PDD. Futu. Pretty funny stocks there. Cooler. Carlisle. Look, Jerome Powell's reporting Tuesday in after hours. Now, it's pretty funny. We started looking this up because it just had us interested, but Powell reporting in after hours. Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be the real big day, though, of course, where everybody's watching. We have Target, Bullish, Lowe's, and the big boy in after hours, Nvidia, and even PANW with that one. So, two pretty big ones there. I know everybody's watching Jack in the Box as well. I didn't even realize that they had a stock. Jack, I thought they would have been under like Yum Brands or something like that. But nonetheless, Nvidia, Wednesday in after hours. I'm curious what you guys think on Nvidia. We're going to do a little bit of a poll, an early in the week poll here with Nvidia. All right, vote it up. Just threw the poll out there. I'm going to throw up the Mag 7 setup really quickly, grab a quick drink of water. Give me 1 sec. All right, sorry about that. My daughter wanted some milk. It's hilarious now whenever you walk by and she's like yelling at you for stuff. People who want to boycott Home Depot don't go there. Why are they boycotting it, Coconut? I didn't know people were boycotting that. I've been seeing calls to boycott Home Depot because of the ICE raids. I'm interested if it will cause a big dip. What? Why? I guess I haven't heard about that situation too much. I guess I don't get into that part of the news. What's Starbucks doing here? Is it starting to do better? Hey. Starbucks actually looks pretty decent on the dip right now. I like this. This is some good price action on Starbucks. It's their time of the year to shine as well. SBUX. What price were they at again? 86. I don't love their chain. They have such a wide bid-ask spread. Going out to February. But I like the price action. $17K in puts. Maybe they shorted it. Starbucks is striking. Like, what's the... Is there like a literal strike? What are they striking for? Short staffing, low pay, unfair practice. I wonder what their unfair practices are. They want more pay? Oh. I'm gonna be honest, isn't this just for like high school kids to work at and stuff? I didn't think that Starbucks was meant to be like a full-time job deal. TSLA. On paper, yes, Samir said. I know. I've got friends that still work at stuff like that, so I get it, I guess. That's how you know the jobs market's in the gutter. Yeah. It's about the CEO's insane salary. I know. That's tough for people to fathom sometimes. How much some of them people make, but... Speaking of people making a lot, how about Elon with the $1 trillion pay package? Don't forget to vote up in the poll on Nvidia as well. Get those votes in. How do you think it's going to go this week? Positive move, drop lower? Flat or choppy is beating drop, so that's interesting. TSLA. I wonder how much they get paid right now as baristas and stuff. If I were them, I would just quit. They should all just quit at the same time. I guess that's kind of like striking, I guess. Whoever typed the Krusty Krab is unfair. You're my spirit animal today. Palantir trying to hold support kind of like Tesla was this morning. Falling back down towards that pre-market zone around 170. It's a pretty big zone of support here for Palantir. It'll need to really hold this up. Yeah, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it, Autumn. I think it's going to beat Wendy's. When I had Wendy's Krusty Krab meal, it sucked. I think that the Whopper will be so much better. I was wondering how long it would take us to get into the fast food talk again here today. It took 35 minutes. Yeah, let's see. Wendy's. Here's what the ad looked like, Autumn. I'll be honest, though. The Krabby Patty sucked. That was terrible. I can't wait for the Whopper one. That's going to taste like a real Krabby Patty. Oh, God, Demure. You're making me jealous now. For those of you wondering, I'm on McRib number 8. I've had 8 of them now since they came out. I'm going to beat my record last year of 17. They're actually still there, Autumn. You bought a lot of stuff from the surplus store. That sounds fun. Tesla seems like it's getting a bit exhausted here. It hit resistance around 418 and really slowed down. Yeah, I have 418 marked out pretty well from the past here. Yeah, there's been quite a few bounces around 418 on Tessie. Yeah, quite a few, actually. It's held up his resistance quite a lot. I love that movie, Losing Better. I love that movie. I wish that I was around back then. I never got to ever say the word supersize me. They showed me that in school. And it's actually free to watch on YouTube if you guys have YouTube. I watch it like once every few years. And then I proceed to go to McDonald's the next day. Although I think that they've gotten a lot better since back then. Man, I think that they've changed drastically on some stuff. Yeah, you watched it too? Okay. I think you're like, it must be like a government required thing to watch or something. That's hilarious, Demir. What'd you get? Carnival Cruise Lines moving to the downside. Nice. That's my favorite thing to get usually. If we don't have, you know, something special out. But these snack wraps have been pretty good lately, too. Tassie still rejecting there at 418. Falling back down a bit. Can we check Meta? Yeah. I'm David Ortiz out here. Hey, let's go, Steve the Sauce Man. I love it. Appreciate that. Let's go, and nice trades. That's a dub in the chat right there. I'd like to talk about Meta. It's been rough the past few months. What's in their future? There's been a lot of people having some negative opinions about Meta lately. Whenever I think about Meta, a lot of their investment has been into the augmented reality glasses and things like that. And it hasn't really panned out in the best of ways yet. It really just hasn't. So until we start to see that stuff really start to take off, I think it'll take Meta a little while to kind of catch up there in that sense. But I think that what they're doing is pretty smart. And I do think that they will start to eventually see some better movement from that specifically, or that sector of their business. We have to remember Meta is investing a lot of money in AI and in the future. So they're taking a short-term hit on that. Their biggest earnings drop came because their capital expenditure targets went up, which essentially means that they're going to be spending and investing more money in AI, but they're confident that that'll help in the longer term. But it definitely is a bit scary in the shorter term, I guess, with so much investment coming into that industry. Meta did also fly up a lot the past couple years, so it's probably just normal for some profits to be taken. Like, man, if we go to the low, like when Kramer cried, to the high, and we ran up 800%. That is an insane move for 2 years. on good old Meta. Still think it's a good long-term buy? Yeah, I do. I do think it's a good long-term buy. I also think that there's issues where, you know, they make a lot of ad revenue, right? There's also issues where there's a lot of scammers on Meta. You know, a lot of that ad revenue comes from scams. I can't remember it. It was crazy. Meta's Llama 4.0 AI was released in the fall. They're struggling with talent. You hadn't heard of the new Llama? Wow, guys, vote up in the poll. Will Nvidia have positive earnings move or will it fall down? Vote it up. What do you think? Positive move, drop lower, flat or choppy, or I don't care? If there's a literal tie going on. 32% on each one of the options. That is a crazy vote. We need some good tiebreakers here. I like VR and want Meta to succeed, but they need to do more. Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing, right? Meta should be okay in the future. I believe that that'll be a much bigger segment as they start to make the glasses more realistic, and they're getting there. You know, they're getting there. I'll tell you, one of the very first things I want to do with those Meta glasses is I want to somehow create a program that will count the cards whenever you look at a blackjack table. It'll look at the table and it'll automatically count the cards based off your glasses, and it'll keep track of them for you. I think that would be the coolest thing in the world, and I think that you could catch people off guard with that pretty quickly. Have fun in jail? Is that illegal? I didn't know that was illegal. I also had another idea. Yeah, it does say it is illegal to use external devices. I did not know that. I thought that it was just the casino would make you leave. It does say it is illegal. Like you could go to jail. It does say though that it's hard to prove a crime. Yeah, I don't know. It says in Nevada, it's a felony offense to do that. Wow. Well, never mind on that. Yeah. If you card count, that's not illegal at all. I know that that's not illegal, but if it does say if you use an external device or something, it is. So makes sense. But I know someone's gonna do that if they don't already do it. You know, I wouldn't really do that anyways. It's not really what I want to do, but it was just an interesting thought. I'm surprised that people don't do that with, like, the online blackjack. You know how, like, you can watch... You know how you can play, like, live online? I'm surprised people don't have, like, stuff watching that stuff. Because now that would be... I don't even know how they could prove that. And especially if you're doing it on, like, one of those weird live betting websites that uses, like, Bitcoin or something, like, that's probably not even regulated. Tesla falling down. 410. Okay, coming into play here. We're changing this to locked up. Just fun thoughts, fun thoughts. Not that we'd ever do that. TSLA 418. I'm thinking of all types of stuff, like stuff like glasses. Like you could like play golf and it would like tell you the like exactly how far it would be through your glasses, and who knows the possibilities. I'm wondering now. Those glasses could be fun, you know, if you program them right. But Palantir trying to test support here at 170. It might give out. Really testing that lower end. SPY pulled back. It bounced off 674 resistance, pulled right back down. There's a big resistance range I have marked out here. It bounced off the lower end of it. Oh, wow. That would be interesting too, Fab. Yeah. Like that way, like anytime you see it again, it would tell you on your glasses or something. Be a pretty good idea. And the glasses tell you on the highway, undercover cop in 2 minutes or something? Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be really cool. What is Palantir doing today? PLTR? Really consolidating hard. It's not really doing much at all today, unfortunately. At first, at open, I was watching it bounce off support. Now I'm watching it to see if it will hold support, because if not, and it starts to fall under 170, I think that we could start to see a bigger drop-off, but it keeps holding that 170 point. Again here, you know, bouncing right off of it again. They could break down soon, though. That's why I keep switching back to it, really. Tesla bouncing well off 412. Coming back after consolidating, almost back to the high of the day. Sorry about that, guys. Reading something really quickly. SPY moving up, though, till double bottom here around 670.50. Close to 670. See if it can hold or not. How is Netflix today post stock split? Down to 110. Let's see. Should I adjust my drawings? Nah, we'll just remove them. Go to the daily. Yeah, I just removed them just so we don't have any formatting issues or something, but yeah, it's moving down a little bit today. We'll see if it brings some buying in soon, but we got to keep in mind that we've been seeing tech stocks falling recently. So if that keeps happening, we keep seeing good downside action out of tech. Nvidia will probably keep getting hit there. That's crazy. Yeah, you're right, though. Netflix was an interesting one with the split today. Unfortunately, they're not really doing much of anything. I'd like to see them bounce off 110, though. This is going to be a big area of support. I'll bet on Bookmap there's a lot of buyers stacked up there. Come on, Netflix. Bookmap can take a little bit to load it up if you are loading up previous data. Oh yeah, 110 is a big buy wall in the short term. 65,000 shares stacked there. That's the biggest one of the day. Pretty much by far. Intel's at the 35 level. Oh yeah, good bounces there by Intel. So what do you think of Bitcoin and other ETH movement? Intel is starting to hold. Bitcoin's looking pretty solid. Today, it's trying to double bottom. It's had some decent action at open. Weird how it dropped off so much in pre-market, though. Generally, it's been falling off quite a bit. It fell under 100K at the end of last week, and that's something that I'm still worried about looking at Bitcoin going forward. There is a big area of support that Bitcoin is very close to, right around 91,000 to 92,000. It's pretty much right on that range right now. There's been a lot of bounces in the past with Bitcoin at this level. So really watch it closely here. I think that there could be a try and an attempt for the support to hold, although I'm not super confident. Now let's draw out some trends here. Let's see what some of these trends look like. Let's just go boom. Let's just draw this one out. Technically, it just got under that trend on that 100K breakdown. So that's not the best sign either in the short term. I'm just not super confident with Bitcoin right now. It's been turning over quite a bit. A lot of whales exiting, I believe. All the airlines down, which is rather expected with the shutdown. Oh, they did start turning over a lot. End of last week. DAL turning over too. Oh yeah. A lot of price action. Thought airlines were going to rise after the shutdown was over. I was looking at them to possibly rise as it ended, but it didn't really pan out that way. Yeah, they turned over really hard end of last week. They were actually popping up a little bit initially, but not for very long. See you later, Demure. Have a great one. The Real Chris says, what website was that just now? Oh, which part? Sorry about that. I don't remember what I was on then. Yeah, those flights canceling sucked for the airlines, that's for sure. Tired of buying the dip? You might not want to touch this one on the airlines. It looks pretty bad today. DAL looks like it could keep going. Ford had a deal this morning. They popped up in pre-market on one little candle as they had a deal about selling cars on Amazon. Any crypto news? It is not alarming that Bitcoin is down so much. I haven't been following the crypto market super closely. I'm not sure if there's like one specific reason here or not. I do know that there's been a lot of, we'll just say, big boy activity selling out of Bitcoin. So I think that there could just be some profits being taken really up around the top. But there's definitely a shift here in sentiment with Bitcoin. And we see it happen every so often. You know, Bitcoin, it actually seems like, you know what? It seems like Bitcoin just stuck within its same little pattern. You know, it has these nice uptrends and then it, you know, goes flat before ultimately uptrending again. And then, you know, getting flat and then pulling back again. It's interesting how it's been moving in that way. A little staircase higher, I always like to say. That's how I describe it. I think it looks like a staircase where it goes. Or more like this. But either way, it's kind of like the same concept. It's wild when you zoom out how many up and down moves Bitcoin really does have here. Yeah, it's still up a lot. It's a volatile crypto. I think the main news is just simply that it's pretty high, and I think that people are just, number one, taking profits. Number two, are getting worried about maybe a bigger pullback happening. Take-Two's CEO said that consoles aren't going away, but gaming is moving towards PCs. Hell yeah, it is. They're so much better. Microsoft hinted more at PC-based consoles in the future. Ooh, now that'd be cool. PC-based consoles. So it's literally just they're selling a PC. It's like, what's the point of calling it that? Just sell computers. Good ones. It's opened people's eyes to the valuation of MSTR. Yeah, it has. MSTR and Coinbase, too. Both are falling, but especially Strategy. Strategy recently broke below a major support here around 230, 235. I've seen people even worried about Robinhood with crypto dropping so much. It makes sense. We're looking at with Tesla here, popping back up a little bit. It came back right to the high of the day, but it rejected again. At least for now, it's rejecting. We could still see it break eventually here. You still have Windows Phone scars. What is that? They had a phone? QQQ pulling back hard. 610 breakdown. I'm looking up the Windows Phone right now. Let's see. Oh my gosh. I do know what this is. I have seen those, actually. I kind of always liked how they had, like, the blocky, like, the blocks. I kind of liked that for some reason. I don't know. It always caught my attention when I'd see it. They had bad support. QQQ, big pullback there. $607.50 coming up. Watch it for a breakdown. It's a pretty rough move. I don't like the way it's testing that again already. It's held it 3 times, maybe 4th time's the charm. They had the Surface Duo 2-screen phone and discontinued that too. That sounds pretty cool. Did it have a screen on both sides? Let's see, 413.30. Tesla might get a breakdown, maybe. Tesla sitting at 411. Okay, not too bad. Oh, it opened up to a dual screen. Oh, so it was a folding phone. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, this looks just like... What? This looks just like any other foldable phone. Look at that. That's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. I kind of like it. I don't know. Running Windows XP. Hey, I wish we had Windows XP back after all the problems Windows gives me all the time. I'll tell you. Bring back the XP. Actually, I want Windows 7 back. This is the one I want. That was the one I grew up on, really, was Windows 7. But XP was pretty big, too. Or was it Vista? Oh man. Windows Vista as the successor to XP. Oh, it was Vista. Was the one that I was using a lot too. I forgot about Vista. Yeah, you know what? I always thought XP was Vista. Oops. Yeah. So Vista. Wow, okay. XP is the good old one. Oh yeah. I used to use that one when I was like a really little kid. Hey, does this screen bring back any memories, guys? Yeah, I loved Windows 7. XP pretty good, though. I used to play old school RuneScape on XP. Wow, Palantir held that support for the triple bottom to come into play. You still rock Windows XP's wallpaper? I used to like those ones that had the pipes that would go around all in circles on there. Those were always fun. Most global IT infrastructure still runs on XP. Really? That's interesting. SNDK has been insane these last 2 weeks. SanDisk. I didn't know that it ran on that. I actually saw that recently, Brain, Windows had switched over from a lot of the, they said like legacy systems over to newer systems, and it caused some issues, I remember. Pretty recently anyways. Look at Palantir, still channeling there, sheesh. SNDK, you don't think it's going to go lower? Definitely got really volatile here. I think that this one could really turn over hard when it finally does. The question is how long will this wave last? How long will this wave last? It's still moving higher again today, but you know what it also just did? It filled the gap. It filled the gap pretty perfectly here. So if you're looking for resistance, it's on it. It's on it right now. It could still go through, but at least it's rejecting off of it for now if you are short it. I think if you're not in the play yet, waiting for confirmation back below this point, closer to 251, you might as well just say 250. Could be a smart thing to do in my eyes. And start to run for those puts there. A lot of weird movement this morning, I gotta say. Looking through some of the news here, I'm not really finding much on the news side of things either. Going through some headlines really quickly. Jake Paul will face former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua in Miami next month. Okay. That's the biggest news of the day, I think. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything too crazy out there on the headlines. It says on Bloomberg that crypto's riskiest tokens plummet to pandemic-era levels. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I just went through a lot of info here. One of the bigger things I'm seeing here is that Amazon had some news of a public offering. They're seeking to raise about $12 billion through a debt offering. Its first such deal in US dollars in about 3 years. That's a pretty big deal. Amazon's capital expenditures rose 61% to $34.2 billion in the third quarter as the company invests heavily in data centers and chips to build and run AI models. Not the best to hear for them. They're about to fill the gap on the daily chart as well, though. How does that even work, Autumn said. Yeah, pretty much what they do is they do a public offering where what they do is they actually sell some shares. It's weird, but then they end up using some of that money to pay down debt and things like that. So it actually can be helpful, but it generally causes negativity in the shorter term, especially out of the stock. It says proceeds from the offering may be used for everything from acquisitions and capital expenditures to share buybacks, the people said. So who knows? Maybe if they start buying back shares, that'd be nice. Google actually sold $25 billion worth of bonds in the US and Europe. Meta sold $30 billion of corporate bonds last month, the biggest offering of the year. Oracle sold $18 billion high-grade bonds in December. Wow, it's actually up to a record right now. Of more than $6 trillion this year. Wow. Amazon's the world's largest seller of rented computing. Critical for powering AI systems. Yeah, so these are specifically investment-grade bonds that are being sold in as many as 6 parts. Let me look at something really quickly with this. Just to triple check something. A lot of times it's being sold. Let's see. So it's a bit weird how this works here. In this specific instance, there's not going to be any dilution for shareholders, which is good. Nothing like that. It's simply just loans to the company in this case. They're essentially borrowing money at the end of the day, is really what they're doing. They're not issuing stock in this case. They can do that too, which is what I initially thought they were doing, but man, they're really breaking down, though. 230 breaking to the downside. Larger downside price action coming into play. These people in the Discord. Building data centers like it's part of the .com when we needed the backbone for the internet. Tesla's going again, Canal said. I'm looking at Amazon here on the bookie. Our X-ray vision, the book mat. Yeah, I wanted to go back and see how big 230 was today. Not too crazy, but it was a big buy wall. 26K shares for Amazon. That's pretty good. Especially short term today. Haha, Jake. This chop makes me hungry for some chopped cheese or Philly cheesesteak. Ooh. That sounds great. I wish I could have one of those today. Instead, I'm going to be having McRib number 9. Just kidding. They have a similar rib patty in the UK you can buy in the shops for cheap. And it's probably real. It's probably better. Ew, Varoom, that's gross. Guys, that's getting out of hand. That's... Way to go, Palantir. I've watched lots of videos how McDonald's makes their McRib, and it's pretty real, but there is, like, you know, like, preservatives in there and stuff, so who knows? Oh, let's go. I just got the text, Mace. Guys, I just got the text to get tickets for the BMW championship here that's coming. Tom, you a big F1 guy? I'm not a huge F1 guy this year. A couple years ago, I was really into it. But I love it. I love it, don't get me wrong. I haven't really watched it this year. Oh, wow. Norris killed it the last one, huh? November 22nd. Oh, Vegas is coming up. Oh, I see. Yeah, I like it. How's BAC? Bank of America. Not doing much again today. Same with JP Morgan. Let's go look at our watch list, find some growth stocks here. I think I'm going to have to go pull up the good old SM bot. See where we're getting some action going. Microsoft calls are on the bot. I like this QUBT rejection at resistance here. So Microsoft calls are hitting. Okay. Are you guys ready for RuneScape's new, RuneScape's coming out with a new skill. That's what it is. Sailing. Any OSRS players in here? This is my first year keeping up with it. It's kind of interesting. Surprised I never looked into it. Yeah, Blue, I've had some really good fun with it in the past couple years. I quit watching whenever Verstappen really took over, but I know that that's not really the case anymore. Now this year we have Norris and McLaren up there. Verstappen's kind of catching though, isn't he? He's pretty close. There's no USA drivers on there that I'm looking at. Not one. That's what we really need in the US. We need a good US driver to come in there and it'll blow F1 up. I'm a pretty big Hamilton fan. Gonna head out. Have a good one. See you, Varoom. Have a great one. Caesars Entertainment. Oh, gosh, Jake Paul. I want Whistle and Diesel to get in, Brain. Did you guys see Whistle and Diesel got in trouble for not paying taxes, apparently, although he swears he paid them? They said F-150s and Silverado on the grid. They tried a U.S. driver, Michael Andretti. It failed badly. Yeah, come on. There's got to be more now, though. It can't just simply be that United States people are dumb or something and can't drive. I mean, that sounds silly. CZR, not too bad. Let's pull up the Mag 7 again. The racing culture is just better in Europe. They're basically born into the sport. It's like football. Yeah. I get what you're saying there. I get it, I suppose. It just doesn't seem quite right. Yeah. Like GT racing and stuff. I think it's just that there's such an exclusivity to it that they almost don't... I think that they don't even want United States people to even get involved. I think that they're scared, if I'm being honest with you. I think that they're scared to let them get involved. Let's go see Tesla here. 418 resistance coming into play. It held up. We're turning over. SNDK has been rising, but it filled the gap to the upside. It's a volatile stock. Keep in mind, it's not just going to crash and burn out of nowhere, but it's getting into that point where it's looking pretty solid. I could see it falling over a lot harder from where it is as we go forward. Yeah, kind of, yeah. They're scared of letting Mustang drivers on the grid. Now that's a good one. That's a good one. That's hilarious. Maybe that's a good thing then, yeah. QQQ pulled back like crazy. We might make a new low of the day on QQQ after we initially popped up. SPY actually just tested the low of the day. It actually technically made a low of the day by a couple cents, but it is testing that low. Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be fun. How's TSM doing? All right, let's see how that poll's shaping up. This is a very, very close poll. For 60 votes for it to be that close, that's pretty insane, guys. I just ended it. Will Nvidia have a positive earnings move, or will they fall down? Flat and Choppy actually won the poll. I can't even believe that. That almost never happens. At 33%. 32% said positive move. Drop lower, 30%. I don't care, 5%. I'm just afraid the US viewership will be like the WNBA. Oh. I wonder how the US viewership's going, because I know that, like, that type of stuff has gotten a lot more popular here. Like, way more. Oh, yeah, poor Schumacher. Or no, Senna's the poor one. Apple TV might help, yeah. Speaking of Apple, they started turning over today. Look at the daily chart. They have a little double top action going on. Go QQQ. New low of the day coming up. Let's see SPY. There it is, starting to break down. Not very good to see 670 or so giving out. Not good one bit. I think that we're going to see a lot of up and down chop this week into the bigger events, like Nvidia's earnings, of course. I think we're going to see a lot of chop into that. Say hi, everyone. I brought my daughter for a little end of stream surprise here. Say, come on, Spy. Say, Spy. She likes hitting the microphone. Tell everybody what you think about Tesla. Is Tesla good?
Yeah.
You like it? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you think Tesla's gonna... Is it gonna fall? Or is it gonna go up? She just copies whatever I say. What does she think about quantum? What do you think about quantum computing? What about this one? What about QUBT? How about this? Is that good? Is that good?
No.
No. Oh, you heard it from her. QUBT is bad, she said. All right, sweetie. That's funny. She literally goes, no. What about CoreWeave? She's probably better than Jim Cramer. Oh, I should have Blue. Oh, she's not that advanced yet. But, all right, guys. I think we're going to call the stream there. Let's go get some breakfast. Let's go out and have some fun. I hope to see you guys in the Discord, of course. Can't wait to see you guys in there today. Let's go, let's go. All right. Let's have a great one. Let's pray for the crypto. Bitcoin getting destroyed today again. Nvidia reporting this Wednesday. That's going to be the big one. We'll be talking about that a lot in the nightly videos coming up. Amazon did that offering, the debt offering. Sold corporate bonds, it looks like. Falling down quite a bit to 230 support. Keep it on the radar. If it does pop up a little bit, it might provide a shorting opportunity later in the day. I know someone just asked about CoreWeave. Man, CoreWeave has been brutal. I'm still watching it down, honestly. Alrighty, guys. Have a great one.